It's the Playhouse Podcast with Kat and JJ.
Believe it. I missed everything.
Missed the show?
What am I going to do?
Check out the Daily Podcast.
We talked to a woman named Macy this morning. She had a big job interview today. I guess we're going to find out if she got the job, but she was super nervous about one part of the interview. And I don't even know if she should have been. You got to hear that coming up a little bit later on in the podcast. Here we go. I got two different portions of my life. When I meet adults and they know what I do, they find out what I do for a living. Mm-hmm. The same question you get asked all the time is, oh my gosh, when do you have to get up? Or what time do you have to go to bed? And people are shocked that I stay up till 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
They're like, wait, you only get 6 hours of sleep? And I'm like, yeah, on a good night. And it seems to just not calculate with them. So I thought this would be fun to ask people, what do they do for a profession? And what is the first question you always get asked? Like, you're so sick of it now.
For me, maybe like, who have you met? Which I think is a curious question. I mean, we're in radio. We are in a weird part of the country. So we've talked to a lot of people on the radio, but we don't really get too many visitors. Like, we have to go down to the city. Tasha says she's a pediatric home nurse for vent-dependent and rare genetic disorders. So she goes in, and if somebody has like a ventilator in their neck or whatever, and then sometimes she'll get a new case that she has to research it, and then everyone always says, oh, that must be so hard. It's actually very rewarding. So that would be a hard one.
I like Ashley's.
Ashley says, I'm a woman that owns a hardware store. Hear me roar. It says, I get a blank stare every single time. Yes, women know a thing or two about hardware. God, it's 2024, Ashley. Can you even believe it?
Sheridan, what do you do?
Hi. So I'm a teacher.
Okay, what do people ask you first then?
The question I get asked a lot is like, aren't these kids terrible nowadays?
Oh,
and
no.
I personally, I don't agree with that. Like, I think these kids are amazing. I think people who say that, there's people out here who shouldn't be, educators, or they're a little bit too old and they need to retire. It's a new generation and they have an older mindset.
Yeah.
These kids to me are amazing. They're so kind. They're so sweet. And it's, sometimes if they do, seem a little rough around the edges, you just have to break through because, just like adults go through things, so do kids.
Yeah.
You just have to be understanding. That's a huge part of our job as teachers, is to be understanding, and not just to teach these kids, but to listen, because there's so much that these kids go through. The world is crazy for all of us. You just got to give these kids a chance. And just, as they break down the barriers, you got to do the same.
They're so lucky to have you. That was a great answer. And I feel like when they ask you that, it's more of a statement. Like, they already feel like kids are crap. It's not really like a question to you. It's like, man, give us a story to fuel more of my thoughts of kids being the worst.
Exactly. And I think that's kind of part of the issue. If we're already having a bad vibe with these kids can they sense that stuff. Sometimes you don't give kids the credit that they deserve. They're smart coming into school, not just leaving school. So it's like when you show up with this kind of guard or like this kind of mean aura, they sense that. And it's like, if we keep projecting these negative things onto these kids, sometimes they'll start to take it in and act a certain way. So if we're open and we're positive, they'll reciprocate the same thing. So there's nothing wrong with these kids. They're
What a great answer. I love that.
I love the passion.
Go
I have
on
a
with
lot
your
of
bad self.
amazing teacher friends that are getting the passion sucked out of them. So you have to fight against that.
I got time for one more. What's your job? What's the first question almost everybody asks you? Brandon?
I'm a pilot, actually.
Oh, very cool. That's a cool job. So what's the first question people ask?
As soon as people find out what I do, the very first thing they want to know is my favorite flight destination, my favorite spot in the world.
So where is it?
And absolutely, without a doubt, that would be Paris. That would be Paris.
Paris.
There is nothing I love more than the peace of flying over the skies of Paris.
Yeah.
With the exception of maybe, just touching that, just knowing how soon I'll be eating food on the ground of Paris. The people, the culture, it's a whole other world.
Tired today?
Yeah. I had a crazy day yesterday. And then, I don't know. I just think we're sleeping with the windows open. So the fresh air. Got a great night's sleep.
It makes you more tired?
No, I got a great night's sleep. I don't know why. I all week I've been a day ahead, so I'm like, I thought it was Friday today.
But
But yeah, yesterday was crazy after my show. Went and saw Chelsea from Party Plan to Paradise.
Oh, yeah.
And got a Fire and Ice facial. That was like insane. I loved it. Went to Ultra Slim. Saw another radio person getting something done there. That was an interesting exchange.
No? I was telling one of the other football coaches yesterday how he'd asked, do you really like radio people? I'm like, no. And he goes, what? And I'm like, we go to all these conferences and everything like that. And like some of these people can't turn it off. Like I get while you're on the air, like you got to be an entertainer. I get that. But some people just can't turn it off and be a regular person. And so I'm like, I don't really get along with people in my industry too well. And he was like, I am shocked.
It was more so I was a bother. That's what I felt like. Maybe I was a bother, even though I just said, hi, I'm Kat. Nice to meet you. No, I didn't say nice to meet you. I said nice to see you again, because I have seen him in passing real quick at another gig like 2 years ago. So I didn't want to make it seem like I've never met him. And he was like, oh, yeah. Okay. And I was like,
over yourself.
Alrighty.
You do a radio show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Jesus.
I said, okay. And then I got really hungry because I had only eaten, a little popcorn and a sweet potato in the morning. So I swung in to Chick-fil-A, which I've only been to one other time in my life. And I had only gotten a chicken salad wrap that other time. So I had that and a Diet Coke, but they made it a meal. I don't like waffle fries. So what I learned you don't do is roll your window down and ask somebody riding by on their bike if they want your waffle fries, because they don't leave your window after you give it to them. And even though he was very appreciative, and then I went and got pictures at Walgreens, Gate City Bank, dropped off some moolah, Walmart, Liam, and then made the boys au jus sliders. And then poured into bed. And that was that.
1047 KCLD and Key of St. Cloud has free cash. Just be fast or you'll lose it all.
Now, Courtney, I consider myself an okay reader of people. And when I said you were caller number 10, I sensed a little shock and nervousness right away.
Yeah, I usually never get in.
Well, today you did. So as caller number 10, you've got a unique opportunity to put a whole bunch of money in your pocket before most people even really get up and get to work today. So I'm going to hand Kat the envelope.
So as long as I've been in this business, it just is a theme where if we have a big contest, all the people that say, I've never won anything on the radio, they're always the winners. So
Kat's showing the camera right now how much you're playing for. You'll have 12 seconds to figure out this dollar amount, but I'm willing to give you an extra 3 seconds if you can prove that you've been listening all morning long. And Kat was snubbed by somebody in what profession as she was out and about yesterday?
I wasn't listening.
Courtney.
no, it wasn't at the gas. People think I'm always at the gas station.
Because you get free stuff there all the time.
I ate at the counter once.
By yourself.
At Quick Trip.
Just
and
staring
now
out the
that's
window.
where I live, I guess. All right.
She got snubbed by another radio person, not from one of our radio stations, but she saw this person in public and they had no time for her. So
too cool for school.
We've got 12 seconds now. It's a simple process. What you're going to do is just give us your first guess between $104 and $5,000. After every guess, Kat's going to tell you whether your next one should be higher or lower. And if you can land on this dollar amount before your 12 seconds expires, you get to keep all the money. Any questions for us, Courtney?
No.
All right, we're rooting for you. You have 12 seconds upon your first guess. We'll start the clock. So from Key of St. Cloud and KCLD, come get that money.
2,500.
Higher.
3,000.
Higher.
35.
Lower.
33.
Higher.
34.
Lower.
33.78.
Yeah, 33.78. I would have taken that. It was
33.66.
Oh.
Can you help me? Can you help me? Can you help me? Everybody! We've both been working here so long, I can't even remember what I wore to my interview here. Do you remember what you wore to your audition?
I don't. maybe I wore just like a t-shirt and jeans.
I think that's where
because
I
we were
was.
doing like a sneaky one.
Yeah, right.
here. I think that might be it.
I was interested to bring Macy onto the show because you have an interview today, right? Is it today?
My interview is today this afternoon.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're getting ready, you're getting pumped up, and I want you to talk about the one thing that you're kind of caught up on, which is what?
Okay, so my issue today is, what do I wear?
Okay.
I have a couple of outfits. I'm super professional, but like my hang up is, do I do flare legs? I have a pencil skirt, a lot of business casual.
Yeah.
And my mom thinks it's silly that I'm even complaining about this, but it's like, what do you wear to a job interview nowadays?
And, you know, we've had conversations like this before where it's like, do I want to portray myself as someone that we want them to take us seriously, which is something that women have to worry about a lot. You know, guys wear slacks and a button-up shirt, and you go in for an interview where you don't want to wear something too tight or too revealing. Can they see your bra through your shirt? Are your pants too tight in the back? Which is kind of a shame.
Absolutely. And that's my hang up today. Is like, I don't want to be too revealing. I consider myself a classy professional, but you never know when you go into job interviews.
So,
you know?
And hang on a second, Kat, what would you wear? Let's say you were going into and you were going to be a media consultant, but at like a bigger company in town. What would you wear to an interview today?
I'd probably wear really nice like heels with, but then the thing is, that's how they're going to expect you to look. And I don't want to look like that. But
I'm not willing to put in that effort.
I would wear tailored pants and a nice button-up shirt, and then some jewelry. But yeah, I just feel so sad that she's worried about just that. That also means, though, that she feels like she's got the interview part licked. But
Right. Good confidence. Yeah, it is weirder for a woman versus a guy, because a guy can put on a button-up shirt.
we don't want it to say something other than our true intention as to why we're there. I totally blocked out this core memory because it's so cringy. But when I interviewed for my job in Fargo, I remember I drove up that morning and I put curlers in my hair. My whole head was like, my name should have been Norma. So I had like curlers all in my head. I get to my hotel, I check in, and I remember taking them out, and I look like Justin Timberlake when he was in NSYNC. Or like that skit from SNL, Wake Up Wakefield with Sheldon. And I was like, I cannot possibly go to the interview like this, but I did. I looked crazy.
As a woman, what do you wear to an interview nowadays? That's the big question here, okay? Other people's problems. We just got off the phone with Macy, who's got a big job interview today, and she's kind of stuck on what to wear. Like, she doesn't want to look unprofessional. She doesn't want to necessarily try and look too sexy. So, like, what's the go-to for a lady nowadays?
So Mylin said that she started her own style page, Stylin' by Mylin. Tell her to follow me for tips and tricks. And if you have the eye, Mylin, I do not. I think anything goes with shoes, and it just drives my husband crazy. Brittany says a flowy summer skirt and a nice shirt is all she wore for her job interview. Jen says black slacks are always a good way to go. And then Jennifer says, do not show legs in an interview. Wear nice slacks and a nice blouse.
Is that a thing now? Don't show legs?
I mean, sadly, we have to worry about what would be something that would be a distraction. And if you have nice legs, that could be a distraction.
What
sadly.
if you're interviewing with a lady?
Yeah.
Does your dress change?
If you have a pencil skirt on and you're showing from the high calf down, I think that's always an appropriate look with a button up. So I'm sure she'll look great.
Interested to get a guy's perspective on this. Andy, what would you suggest she wears?
I mean, shouldn't it be obvious? Like, just be professional.
The dress pants or whatever. Why do you feel like she should have to completely cover up?
Well, it's a workplace. I mean, I can't go wear a thong down the hallway.
I think that's a little drastic. I don't think she was going to do that.
I think I see where he's coming from. You're like, hey, don't show cleavage, don't wear a short skirt because guys don't dress that way too, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to be at work. Like, I can't be constantly like, women parade that around like it's their job.
Whoa. Thank you. On Friday's live show, Johnny D's going to be here with a couple of mixes for you. We're going to try and get you $20,000 cash, plus another round of a Fortune Friday. Kat's going to pull out these tarot cards that we got at a garage sale, and believe it or not, they're pretty accurate. It's all during our live show Friday right now. Let's finish out the podcast.
Bingo. Bingo.
Bingo what bingo?
Bingo! Bingo! All right, I always love this portion of our show. It's called Listener Bingo, and Kat and I are each going to look for something specific from you as you're listening. I'm hoping you'll pick up the phone and call us at 251-1047, but it is a little bit of a race. Only the first person through gets the bingo, but here's what Kat's looking for.
Anyone listening who has had a pet that saved their life, there are pets that can sense a seizure coming on and will come up next to you, push you against a wall to make sure that you don't fall. You know, there are very, very intelligent animals out there, but there was a video that was going around yesterday, and I thought it was really cute. This woman pretended to faint to see how her geese would react.
By your side when you're all alone.
They were so concerned. They laid their long necks on her body, like our person, and then, you know, she cried wolf there, because if she really faints, they're going to be like, screw you, lady.
We're going to eat you.
We're going to eat you now. We're going to peck you to death. But you have a pet that has saved your life, or maybe could.
Okay. So like a seizure dog or, okay. I'm looking for anyone listening who only goes by a nickname. I have a friend, when we moved to town, this will be coming up on my 20th year on KCLD. When we first moved here, we met someone because our kids were in the same grade. And now my son has graduated college and kind of moved on to his big boy job. But I just learned last week that what we call him is not even his name.
Really?
I didn't know that his real name was Brandon until
But you've been
last
calling him a
week.
nickname.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I'm looking for anyone listening who only goes by a nickname, and Kat's looking for anyone listening who
has a pet that has either saved their life or could and is trained to save your life.
Hey, Melanie, what's your bingo?
Yeah, I have a daughter that I named a fancy name, but none of her friends know that she goes by a nickname.
Okay, so like, what's her nickname?
Her nickname is Lexi, and her fancy name is Alessandra, which doesn't make any sense, but she goes by Lexi.
Okay, and nobody knows that Alessandra is her beautiful God-given name.
Except her teachers.
Well, she told a friend at high school that Alessandra is her twin sister.
Funny.
Oh, God, these kids are nuts, man. Now, so where did the Lexi come from then? Did, like, you give it to her? Grandma did? Somebody called her by the wrong name, like a sibling?
No, I did, because when she was born, I was like, we're not going to call her Alessandra all the time. She's named after my best friend. And I was like, I'm her mom. I can tell everybody to call her Lexi. But now, because she's older, she's like, this is the dumbest thing ever, because Lexi doesn't come from Alessandra.
Yeah, I get it when it's like Kat's son is William, but it's Liam. Like, I get that. Or if you're Robert and you go by Bob, but yeah, yours doesn't translate.
William and Liam doesn't go together either.
Well, the last four letters are Liam, so that's why.
So it does.
Oh, okay, I get that.
You see how defensive I got? I don't even know why.
She got, you guys, she's so full of Botox, you couldn't see the frown lines, but I could see her eyes slanting down. Like it was. I want to take you down memory lane real quick. You used to be great at something, but now you won't even attempt it anymore. And the reason I'm bringing this up is I was the minister at a wedding over the weekend. I officiated a wedding of my cousin and his beautiful bride. And he's only 26, right? So he's just a kid in my eyes. Mm-hmm. And he's got all these they were great friends. His friends you could tell they were like ride or die guys. You know what I mean? And when we showed up at the reception, they were outside shotgunning beers. Excuse me. I get the coughs just even thinking about it. And as we're walking up, JJ, shotgun a beer with us. I go, man, I can't even do that anymore. Yeah. Like, I realized I'd gotten
that would go on YouTube.
I would gotten so old that I used to be great at something like this. Uh-huh. And now I don't even attempt it anymore. So what did you used to be great at, but you won't even attempt anymore?
I would say running. Like I won't even run from a bear. I'll find somewhere to hide. And doctors say don't run. Professional medical people are telling us not to run because it's really bad for your joints. But I was really good. I went to state starting in 7th grade all the way through 12th grade. And just like, you know, when they'd put me in the SAD JV races because they just needed somebody else for the team.
You would dominate.
I mean, it literally wasn't even a competition. It was kind of sad. And then I ran varsity I lettered in 7th grade. And now, if there was a fire, I would just walk quickly. I won't even run.
Some of the most popular answers popping up on socials. Cartwheels, says Jennifer.
Yes. You know what I can't do? I don't know if I was ever good at it, but I cannot hula hoop to save my life.
Oh, really?
If my child's life was on the line, he's done. He's done. I can't do a full rotation. It's not good.
It was a fair amount of years ago. This is like maybe 5 or 6 that my sister-in-law and my brother-in-law, or my sister-in-law, brother-in-law were up, and my wife had a couple of cocktails on a Saturday night, and she tried to convince everyone that she could do a what do you call it, like a handspring, like forward handspring.
Yeah.
And because my daughter was a dancer and a gymnast, and my daughter would just rattle these off in the yard like little girls do. You know what I mean? Just one after another. And my wife's like, I can do that. I'm like, number 1, you can't.
Easy.
Number 2, I don't want an ER visit tonight.
Yeah.
And after, 4 or 5 seltzers, she gave it a shot. And I'll tell you what, she was right there. It was close.
My 11-year-old mind, I still feel pretty young, but I'm like, the distribution of weight catches me. And I'm like, nope, girl, not an option.
Sarah says she can't ride a bike anymore.
Oh, that's really sad.
Oh, by the way, is it recumbent bike season?
You see them everywhere. Huh?
I saw 4 yesterday in Avon. Going across the trail because you're supposed to stop for riders or walkers. There was 4 of them yesterday. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's a dork parade.
It's our crew.
And it was really bad. Jason said, receiving lap dances. I used to be great at them. I don't even try them anymore. Dana
It's no effort.
Dana said handstands. The last time I tried it, I broke my wrist.
Oh.
Hildy says downhill ski jumps.
Okay. Those are a bit scary. Liam will have me go off at Powder Ridge. They have on the far right of the hill some of the obstacles. And I'm like, no way. No way.
A lot of people have commented on just physical things they used to be able to do, but they won't even try anymore until Emily rolled around and she said, spitting game. I just can't do it anymore.
Yeah, I get it. Sometimes it just seems really unnatural. You got to do it to the right people.
Morning, Jeremy. How are you, bud?
Good morning.
Hey.
What's good, man? What you used to be great at, but you won't even attempt anymore?
I used to be really good at the tenor saxophone.
At the tenor saxophone?
Not what I was expecting. All right.
No, I kind of knew you were a dork.
Yeah, just instruments in general. Like, I want to learn how to play the guitar so bad. I don't know. I just can't learn. Like, I don't know.
Music notes are very hard. I gave up. I was trying violin when I was in middle school, and I just gave up.
My mother was so disappointed in me. She went to college on a musical scholarship, and she wanted me to learn to be the world's greatest piano player and drummer.
Yeah.
And I gave it up after about 1 lesson. I'm like, Mom, if my friends find out I'm playing the organ or the piano, it's over for me.
Yeah.
You know
and
what I mean?
I'm sure being a redhead, you have to try to figure out ways to stand out in positive ways. And I get it. But you can't be good at everything. You can't have personality and own a successful business.
Hey, look at Ed Sheeran.
And play sax.
Great redheaded guitarist. You could be just like him, Jeremy.
I love you guys so much. Like, Dan's trying to teach me how to play guitar, and it's just, I don't know. The older we get, it's just almost impossible to learn.
Are you having problem with the notes or just the dexterity of your hand?
The fingers, teaching the fingers how to push so hard on those strings, and it hurts so bad. And I don't know. It'd just be so cool to sit around a campfire and play some Johnny Cash or just play some Alabama. Like, I would just be the happiest.
So when my son was a junior in college, he was really, really trying to learn the guitar because there was this kid that would sit under a tree on spring and fall days on campus.
That's such a private college thing to do.
And he said he would just play a little bit of guitar and there would be like 10 girls standing around all like, oh my God, oh my God. So he was like, this is the way in, Dad. This is the way in. But he couldn't figure it out.
One day, Jeremy.
I don't know. Someday I would really like to learn how to play guitar, and then like at church choir playing the guitar, like I'd be just the happiest. But
well, just so you know, I have zero faith in the fact that you'll ever learn this.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. I appreciate that out of you.
Have a great morning.
It's just fate, and we'll just see how it goes. Hopefully, I can prove you wrong. Hopefully, I can prove myself wrong.
I'll stand over here holding my breath. Okay.
Don't do it. It's not worth it.
Gotta go, man. Have a great morning.